All right, so here is a SchedulePop demo for one of our test locations called the Burton Nursing Center and Rehab. This is just one of our test locations, so you'll see a few names and some things that are made up strictly for a demo purpose. But what I'm going to do now is just quickly go through some of these left side tabs. A lot of these things I'm about to show you, you input at one time, and you don't really have to go back there and do it again. Let's jump into it. So what I did was just click on the left side tab that says duties, and duties are just your job codes, just what people are doing within the facility, and you can have as many of these as you'd like. And over here is a pay rate. You can input a pay rate, but this is just your basic default rates. If you have a ton of CNAs that have the same pay rate, you could put 1174, and that would auto-populate, or you can customize this to whatever you want. And you can also go into individually to every employee and customize their pay rate. Or you do not have to input a pay rate. It's just for budgeting purposes. And to add a new duty, you just click the top right, and it says Add New Duty, and boom, input that name. The next we'll go over to users. These are your employees. And for this page right here, it just shows you their first and last name, their zone, which we'll go over later, and their duties, what they do within the facility. So what I'll do here is just click into a user. Then within the user, it just shows their username, their phone number. You can also add an email. It shows their notification settings about how they will get their notifications. So currently, the employees can get their schedule through text message, email, Google Calendar. They have a free mobile app, and you can also print out your schedule. So there's a bunch of options for how they can get their schedule. The next here is manager permissions. So for each facility, there might be a few different people who actually oversee the schedule and actually do the scheduling. So if that's the case, you would just click that they are a manager and they're account admin. So that way they can oversee the whole schedule. And if you have certain people who only oversee certain departments, you can make them a manager of that specific area. So that's what zones are. So zones are just different departments within every facility. So for example, for this location, we have the zones broken out to the 3 different shifts. You can have as many zones as you like. And so basically you would have different people within each of those zones. And if you have managers for each of those zones, you would say, hey, this person's a manager of zone 1. They work for zone 2, but they're not a manager of zone 2. So it just makes it more organized when people are going into schedule and they say, hey, I'm a part of zone 1 and I manage that. So it's just it's a cool way of organizing your facility. The next, within each person, you can put the duty that they work. You can have more than one duty. To add another one, you just go in, you can customize that pay rate right here and assign the duty. Over here at the bottom, we have availability. So basically what that means is if you have someone who can work Sunday through Thursday, you can put their availability so they work those days, but they're off the rest of the week. So that when you go to the schedule, it shows you that time frame in which they can and cannot work. That way it just helps you when you're scheduling, so you don't schedule them on a day they cannot work, and they always tell you that. But even if you have them unavailable for a certain day, they would still get messages just in case they want to work. And at the bottom, it says here how you either disable somebody if they leave. You can just click disabled, and if they come back, in the future, you can always reactivate them, and it saves all of their information. And up at the very top, the 2 tabs right here, you can see all of their past and future shifts that they work. That way, you just timestamps every past shift and every future shift just for your reference. And also up here at the view a list of time requests, we'll show you how to do it later in the demo under Schedule Builder, but this will tally all of the times that someone has called out, been sick, PTO, vacation, etc., and you can tally them right here. So this individual doesn't have that many days where they've been on vacation, but it's shown that there's been 2 days where they have called out for various reasons. And also timestamps that request as well. So this is a great thing for someone who's always calling out or no call, no show. You can tally those if you have to have a meeting or whatever. The next, I clicked on the location settings. So here's just kind of the backbone of your schedule. It shows you the schedule start date, the time zone, your overtime threshold, and there's a few manager options that you can slowly roll out, or you can just roll out at your own pace. So these would be your swaps. Currently, we have it so people can swap, and you have options of no swaps permitted, or they require manager approval. These tend to vary from location to location, and it's totally up to you for how you want to do this. And there's a few things that managers and employees can do. So, for example, managers can approve swap requests, time off requests, or if you don't care about that, if they can do it freely, you can uncheck that. And here you can do it so employees can set time off, or they can set availability. And again, these are a few things that our client success managers can show you in real time how they work, and the pros and cons of turning certain things on and turning certain things off. And then here's how you input zones for your location. And again, you can have as many zones as you like. And over on the left is scheduler. Here's where all the action really happens. And there are a ton of tools here. So for this demo, I'll kind of give you the quick and dirty of a few of our really cool features. And then our client success managers can show each of the administrators or schedulers more of the smaller, more detailed things that can really make your schedule more productive. So for the blue shifts are a scheduled shift. So to create a shift, all you do is just press that little plus button, and you can make a new shift or create a pre-made shift. So here you can toggle the hours. So for this person, you select the duties you already inputted in their user, the zone that you already assigned them. Then you click, and you would click add. And then the shifts will auto-populate right here. So then if you have certain shifts that multiple people can do, we have a copy paste button. So I click that icon right there, and you can copy it to other schedules. So if I say, okay, later in the week he's working that same shift, you just copy that around. Let's see, so copy her. You can copy it to other people. You can copy it to her. You can delete certain shifts. And as I'm doing that, if you notice over here, it's updating the hours right here. So if the overtime threshold is 40 hours, if you go over those 40 hours, it will turn red, alerting you, hey, they're over shift. Then to trim back in a shift, you can click into a shift and say, hey, all right, I'm going to trim a few hours here. Click edit, then it drops that number down. And then so here's how the availability will look if you choose to do availability for an employee. The green is their availability. The red means that they cannot work that day, but you can still make a shift for that person over that time. So let's say you make all these shifts, things look great, and then you have certain people you just want to copy it. Hey, this week looks great. I want that for next week. You can copy this whole schedule and paste it into any time in the future. So that way, if things look great, you can just go ahead and make your next week. Copy it, and boom, it put it into that next week. You can also copy by day by clicking this icon up here. You can copy it in the employee's schedule. If Joe's schedule looks very similar to Roy's, you can just copy that right there. Super easy. So then let's say if you want to schedule and you want to just break it out by zone or by duties, we have filtering options where you can make it more smaller, just so you can see to make sure there's no gaps, everything looks good, and you're not missing anything. So then when you're done with your schedule, things look nice. You'll notice these red arrows. That means that you made a shift, but it has not yet been published. So to publish your schedule, you click this red publish button, and you can notify everyone who's on the schedule or only people who had changes. And you can also select the zones that you'd like to do it. So if you've only finished zones 1 and 2, you can shoot those out before you do zone 3. So then when you're done, you click publish schedule, and in a few minutes, it's shooting out all those messages to all your staff. Then there's a few other tools we have as well. So we have at the top right, we have the print option, where you can print your exact schedule out, post it in the back. And there's a ton of options for how you like to have this print option organized. You can do it by zone. You can have it divided out by duty. You can do it by individual. There's a ton of different ways to do this. Then we have a pretty cool feature right here called Message Staff. So if you have a weekly meeting for all of your RNs, you can say, meeting today at 2 p.m. And you can shoot that out, and that hits everybody's cell phone, email. And it's just a great way to kind of shoot out a certain message or whatever you're trying to get across. And these messages all come included. There's nothing that is kind of hidden. All these messages and all these messaging features are included with your subscription. Then right here we have time off blackout dates. So if you have a certain time of year where you're like, hey, I just don't want anyone taking off, whether it's 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever that could be, you can pre-make these days where in the future where no one can request to take off. So you could select 4th of July weekend. Then if someone tries to go on to take time off, they will not be able to do that. Then quickly we'll show you shift view. So some facilities like to schedule by the shift and organize it like that so there's no overlap. So this is basically what I just showed you in staff view, but now just in shift view. And there's two ways that you can utilize the shift view. So one is to just make your schedule by shift. So what you would just do is you would click that top right, you would select the shift that you're trying to staff, select who you need and how many people you need. Let's say I need 5 RNs. You can actually select those people who qualify for that time you just made. Then also while doing that, it calculates their hours. And then what you can also use shift view for is by saying, hey, someone called out for this shift right here, and I need somebody. Let me show you right here. So I clicked on that person, and I say, hey, I need 1 RN for this shift. Then you can exit out. Then what you could do is it shows, hey, this shift right here is understaffed. You could publish all available shifts. So then what that would do is whoever is qualified to work on this Tuesday that has that second shift from that time that's not currently working, that can do that duty, will automatically get a message saying, hey, there's an open shift. And through our mobile app and the employee login like this they have on their own desktop, they can pick up those shifts. And the manager also has availability to select the people too. So if there's more than one person that's trying to pick up that shift, the manager can actually go in and select who they'd like to choose. So that's a super good feature because call-outs happen all the time. So this is a really quick way of, instead of having to call and text your whole list of employees, you can just make that shift, shoot it out, and automatically hit those people. And then, again, for all these things that I'm showing you, we have a fully serviced client success team, and they will help you with every step of this process. Because I know it's a lot of information, and especially when you're overviewing a lot of people, it's hard to kind of remember all these small things. So if you choose to work with us, all of our client success will have a dedicated person, and they'll walk you through every step of the way and actually help you build your first schedule and get you super comfortable and just make you professional. That way, when you publish your first schedule, there's no questions, and you feel confident. And so over here at the bottom, here is also a chat with us button. So if you have any questions, anything comes up, you can chat into this right here, and it automatically hits our headquarter office. And after hours, it also hits our cell phones as well. So we do our best to make sure we answer all of your questions whenever they do come up. And so here, you can do a few of these right from the schedule builder. So you can do daily notes, and it also shows the budget as well. If you click into budget tools, you can assign budgets by zone. You can do it by duties as well. So you would go here and you can input your estimated daily budget. All right, we have an open API as well. So that is something that we could work with the SPV time clock that you guys use and work with them to kind of get more accurate numbers. So that would not be a problem to integrate with them. Then, yeah, so the budget reflects automatically and automatically updates the numbers from what you schedule in Schedule Builder. And you just can go in here and input your estimated budget. Lastly, here, a couple of reports that you can utilize. Here's a user login report. So it shows all of your employees when they log in on their desktop version. So if someone says, hey, I never got my schedule, you can say, hey, well, I've seen you, the last time you logged in was December 12th of last year. So that's why you've never seen it, because you haven't logged in. And the user setup report. So here's where you can quickly overview to see if you have the information you have for all your employees, if you have all their information. So then someone will say, hey, I never got a text message. You say, well, surely we don't have your number in the system. That's why you're not getting text messages. So then you can input that. But yeah, that is the quick and dirty of SchedulePop. We're always available to help answer questions, show you more information. There's a ton of cool features that I didn't really cover, but those are some more things that we can definitely show you when the time comes around. But I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.